Oh, I got my gallon of milk over there at Tom Thumb, yay. And visited with my buddy there from New Mexico. And he said when they were living out there, they had trouble. His family had trouble. His dad was a hobbyist with cars. He didn't have a mechanic shop. He just played with them and collected them. And the city was up, I'm trying to say, they had a city and everything. So they put a big fence up, hoping they would shut them up. And then they would just sit there and watch the property day and night and stuff. And so they called his superior, and the superior was like covering for him. And they ended up going to court, suing the city, I guess, and won. Because they were just totally harassing them. It was really sad. But, yeah, and he's over here in Florida now, so. Nicest guy in the world, I want to tell you. Really nice. I love how you drop that car right in the street. That's why it has lines. You got to park behind it, man. Pretty day. 72 degrees now, and it's about 2 o'clock. I went on a box search again today a little bit and didn't find anything. Still packing and moving. Convertible mark. But Mercedes is a beautiful car, but boy, they're so expensive to maintain. Terrible expensive. My dad had like 8 of them at a time. He just thought they were the coolest. I mean, they're million-mile cars, but they're gross expensive for their parts and labor. My dad had a student of his that worked on foreign cars, had his own shop, so I used to do trades all the time. So it wasn't a big problem unless he had to use somebody else. Peter Blout was his name. He also taught for my dad's sailing school. Peter Blout's a character. Really good character. But brilliant mechanic. He's probably a very wealthy man today from working on all those toy cars back in the 70s and 80s and all that. California people really get into the fancy cars. Every day you see something and go, what is that? Yep. And when you start moving to the south and stuff, it's funny because nobody has anything too very new, and everybody loves those big Lincolns, old Lincolns and stuff, the 90s Lincolns. And so, like, you're a big famous star if you got an old 90s Lincoln that's real mint, you know, and cruising around, and they know who you are because you're the only one in town's got one in that color. But rarely will you ever see like a Rolls or something roll through there, or a Lambo. And then they got these guys that used to build cars out of their garage back home. I was down at Venice Beach one day, and this guy had his place right on the beach, and he was building this weirdest looking car. And I'm like, what kind of car is that? He said, I built it. He built it and designed it. And it was somewhere between like a Pantera and a Lambo and I don't know what. And I don't think his car company ever quite made it, but this guy was like in his 50s, and but he was building his own cars in his garage. They're getting ready to do something with the old Agave. That place changed names so many times, but I'm gonna tell you that it's always been the best Mexican food. Every time they change names, it's always a Mexican place. The best. For years and years. Look at this old caddy. I had a red one just like that. Holy heck. Yeah. miss my red convertible caddy. I really do. That was a really cool car. I used to drive that in California. Took it to Vegas and got mad, tore up my contracts in Vegas, left the car with my buddies that I worked with in the show, and I flew home. I wanted to get out of there so bad. It seemed like every time I went to Vegas, it didn't last long. I just couldn't stand it. And they offered me good contracts and paid so well, but it just, I just hated working in Vegas. Oh, let's see. I think I'll stay on the boulevard for a minute. Drive around the block, see if I can find some boxes. Every time I go out, I gotta try to make an effort to see if I can find some boxes, because I gotta keep stocked up here. Try to get this stuff moved out. She wants to sell bad, but I'm doing the best job I can. I'm all by myself doing this. There's somebody with an electric scooter and they're illegal. You're not supposed to ride them on the sidewalk. You have to ride them in the street because they're motorized. The police told us. I wanted to get one for my daughter when she was like 15, and we talked to the police and they said, well, she has to have a license, and 2, it's motorized. I'm like, but it's electric. And they said, and she'll have to ride in the street in the bike path. Cannot ride it on the sidewalk. I went, ugh. So that deal was out, and it was really bad because I found a really good used one at the pawn shop in Valparaiso, Niceville area, and the guy was really trying to push me to buy it, and was like really obnoxious about it. He was like, so you're gonna get it or what? I was like, wow. You know, we were just standing in the store looking at it and just asked a couple questions, but he was really a snob. And I kind of looked at my daughter and went, I don't know if I even want to do business with this guy. When you move to the South, I'm going to tell you, they have this thing, and it's like, if you do business with me, I do business with you. It's a courtesy. So, if somebody does business with you, you really need to make the effort to go out to their business and purchase from them, even if it's a little bit higher. Yo, Michigan, you need to pull up. Because it's a courteous thank you. That's the way it's done in the South. But I have this theory myself, is if you're a poo-poo head, I don't know if I want to give you my money. I don't know if I want to make your people's paychecks. You know? You don't have to kiss my butt, just be nice. This must be an older gent driving, because he's kind of like, I don't know what he's doing. I guess he decided. You must be so confused from Michigan. You know, this traffic here is like what it was like growing up in California. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Most of the time you just had the road to yourself, but this is what traffic was in California when I grew up. Down Marina Del Rey, Santa Monica, and all that. Not now. You better hope you have a moped so you can slide in and out of traffic, because you will never get to where you need to go. An old 15-minute run, like 2 hours now, just to get down the street. But that's a lot of the reason why I like Florida. I like Florida because of the temperature, and I'd love to be near the ocean. And then Because the traffic's not too terrible bad. I mean, unless you're in like Navarre or Destin. Get off the phone. Gosh, I could have gone through if that lady wouldn't play on the phone so much. La-di-da. Let's go see what this place looks like. It looks like my brother Glenn's Jeep thing, which he gave to his brother because he borrowed money and he gave him the Jeep thing, but he had a Jeep thing like this. And then I drove one just like that in red that belonged to a co-worker of mine, Macy. And I want to tell you, this place is loaded. It'll take them a lifetime. And I want to tell you, it was so much fun. I drove it actually from Bama down to here a couple times. And I would fill it up when I bring it back. So like, yeah, you can take my car. I'm at work. And I'd come down and rent some costumes, whatever. And it was just the coolest thing. I swore I would get one. But Jeeps seem to be a bit problematic. Now, I leased one at a rent-a-car, brand new one, like a year ago. And what a cool car. But I will tell you, it was really nouveau, but the only thing is it just wasn't a truly comfortable car to drive. You know, for riding. I was kind of disappointed with the way the seating and all that was set up because it just wasn't comfortable. And it was a shame because they were really pricey, these newer ones. But it just didn't have that comfort. That was the only thing it was missing. It was so perfect in all the other ways. Winn-Dixie repainted the front end. Looks very nice. That's a cool store if you want to get the sale stuff, but boy, you better eat it that day. I bought some garlic bread and they're already ready one day because I didn't feel like making it. And man, it was no good the next day when it was in the fridge. It went moldy, like green moldy. There's a little bit. I really need to get one to cruise in Florida. So I'm ready to buy another car pretty soon. I was gonna do it about 4 or 5 months ago, but I didn't. But when I get done on tour here, then maybe I will. It just depends. Okay. Got to pack some more stuff and load it. And if I can get enough stuff back, then I can list some more of this furniture and stuff and get it online, get it sold. Because it's cheaper to cut loose everything that you can as far as furniture goes, if you can replace it, because it takes up so much room in storage. I'm trying to get really tight in storage without a huge investment. Okay. Maybe I'll get time to flush my power steering. I'd like to flush that out and put some fresh fluid in there. But I don't know if I'll have time. I hope you guys have a really great day. Whatever you do, don't ever let them see you sweat. Always keep smiling. Do something kind for a stranger. And too much of a good thing is wonderful, and we'll take a lot of that. Have a great one. Love to you.